method for the presentation in the income statement. You'll see that I've copied the problem data from the textbook. So these are the numbers from problem 6-2. And I've highlighted at the top the contract price that will be charged to the customer, which is $11 million for a contract that will stretch out over 3 years. I've put in red to highlight the fact that the numbers are provided on a cumulative basis, which means that in 2015, the 2014 numbers are included in the 2015 numbers. And the 2014 and 2015 numbers are included in 2016. So in order to proceed and calculate the revenue, we do it based on work that's been done to date, so based on dollars spent on this contract. So we will copy over our captions, or costs to date, and copy over numbers. And let me just format these as dollars. So there we go. So these are the amounts spent to date. And to these we add our budgeted costs to complete the contract. So budgeted costs to complete. And again, those numbers are provided above. So we just complete our cell referencing. And the two numbers combined or added together give us our budgeted total contract costs. So in 2014, we think that we can complete this parking structure at a cost of $7,655,000. We're charging $11 million. And I'm going to stretch out my formula. You can see that in 2015, though, the total costs have changed substantially, because as we move through time, actual costs will not be the same as budgeted costs. So in 2015, the cost picture has changed. We now estimate to finish this contract for a total cost of $9,091,000. And at the end of 2016, we come in at a budget of $9.3 million. So this is our total costs to do this contract. So using our cost figures, we can now estimate the percentage complete by dividing costs to date by our total costs. And those total costs here, by the way, are budgeted for 2014 and 15, but when we get in the last year, these are actual dollars because now the contract is finished. When we calculate the percentage completion, I use the rounding feature here. You don't have to, that's not mandatory, but just to get easier to read numbers for the purposes of the illustration. Notice that in 2015 it's 71% complete. That includes the 40% from 2014. In the same way, in 2016, total completion of 100% includes the numbers from the prior year. So we're going to multiply this by our contract price of $11 million. So I'm just going to cell reference right here. And we use this to calculate our revenue to date. So revenue to date, I'm going to put that in red to highlight again that it's cumulative. So percentage completion times our contract price gives us the revenue to date for each year. And again, this is cumulative, so you can see in the last year that the revenue is $11 million, but that's the amount we're spreading over 3 years. So to calculate the revenue earned in a particular year, we have to subtract the revenue earned in prior years. The first year is the year we start, so there is no revenue earned in the prior year. But in 2015, we recognize revenue of $4.4 million, so we have to subtract this. So I'll put a little minus in front of it, subtract it. And that gives us the revenue earned in the current year. We'll use a check figure to make sure that our numbers are accurate. So if I add across, I know that my numbers are accurate if my check figure is the contract price of $11 million and it's spread out over the 3 years in which the work is done. I can now transfer this data into our income statement right here. So this is going to be our contract revenue. And I'm going to transfer this data into the income statement. And again, do my check figure, make sure that it adds up to my contract price. So this is my check figure. And I'll just put a little comment right here. This is my contract price. And my contract expenses. For my contract expenses, I need to go back to my original data, but remember that this amount here is cumulative. For the first year, it's our $3,060,000, but in the second year, it's a 2015 amount, but we have to back out the 2014 because it's included. And we do the same thing for 2016. It's the 2016 figure minus the 2015 cumulative figure. And again, I'll just check my numbers. This should add up to my $9.3 million total contract costs equals to total contract costs over the 3-year period. And that gives us our gross profit. And I'll use my check figure. My check figure should be equal to my contract price minus my total contract costs. And it should also add down. And that's our calculation. So this here, this $1.7 million figure adds down as well as across. We'll do the calculation of the statement of financial position amounts in a separate recording.